This is the Tom Barnard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Barnard app at tombarnardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Wherever. That's all I have to say. Just wherever. All right. So, I'm just going to read a headline. I don't want to read the story. I just want to read the headline because it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. People think 2025 is looking pretty ominous. You know why it's looking pretty ominous?
I've got a couple ideas, but
I'm not sure.
What do they say?
Because the calendar starts with WTF.
Oh, I did see this. Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Oh, God. Really? So that's a national story.
I think I saw this too, but the last time a year started with a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday was the all-elusive 2020, the year of COVID-19.
Yep.
So people are immediately they're connecting the dots, saying, "Uh-oh, we might be in for another weird year."
I just, whatever. Like I said, I really wish I knew how the world worked because I don't have a really good grip on it. I would have gone and stolen millions and taken millions from people if I had known my dad could have said, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about a thing."
He's just
what?
I was like, he's just trying to get a Father of the Year mug.
Exactly.
That's.
And by the way, this is not a Democrat thing. It's both sides. Both sides are filthy as hell. I don't know who. I got nobody to vote for anymore. Why is that?
Well, I mean, the election's over, so we don't have to worry about it for another 4 years.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah.
But with Biden, I think it is kind of ridiculous that or it's weird to see him pardon his own son because it feels almost like insider trading a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like, if my mom was about to go to prison and I knew the next president was because I tried to put him in jail, that he might now try to mess with my family.
Right.
I have to pardon them and take the public heat so that way they don't end up in prison.
Is there anybody other than maybe a couple of local people? Is there anybody in politics that's not filthy as hell? On either side. Doesn't matter.
I think there's somebody running for student council in YZ.
There you go. There you go. I just, and I'm not even upset by it. I just watch this stuff and it's like, how do you, all of these people are just filthy. I will tell you one thing. On the other side of the issue, if I don't stop getting 20 emails a day from Elon Musk, I might pull my hair out.
I saw
20 emails a day.
I'm getting real sick of him.
Yeah, I saw a video of him at some Thanksgiving thing with Donald Trump, but his shirt, he was wearing an X shirt, like a Twitter shirt.
Of course he was.
What are you promoting yourself for?
People know who you are,
right.
And also I saw that too. And my question is, he has he's in the double-digit figure for kids, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's 13 kids, I believe.
Something like that.
Go spend time with your family.
You're at Thanksgiving, spending time at the president-elect's gathering and not with any member of your family.
I know.
I think that tells you exactly what you want to know about him.
Like last year, Catherine and I drove down to Florida during the Thanksgiving holiday. We left on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and we celebrated by, looking toward the family, giving them a call because we ate in the car for a couple of hamburgers we got from Denny's in Urbandale, Illinois. That was our big Thanksgiving last year, so that was really nice. I discovered a 50-year-old mistake that I made last night.
Ooh.
Catherine and I just kind of messing around, and we're watching Christmas movies and this, that, and the other thing. And 50 years ago, I have a friend named Greg. His name is Greg Lundeen, actually. I've known him since we were both in 7th grade. Just a great guy. Love Greg. Wonderful guy. 50 years ago, when I was 23 years old, I asked his younger sister out. I believe she was 20 at the time. I was 23 and she was 20. And I figured, this is kind of cool. What was the name of that? There was a great Italian restaurant on 19th and Hennepin, just a block north of Franklin on Hennepin. I can't remember the name of it. It's a really, really good restaurant. Maybe somebody can send us an email. I used to go there all the time. So we went and ate Italian food, and then we went and saw a movie because I figured, it's a good laugh. It's the Christmas season and all the rest of it. We'll go see a Christmas movie. And this one should be pretty funny. It's called Black Christmas, right? You ever heard of the movie Black Christmas?
I have not.
I have not.
It's been made 3 times now in the past 50 years. The original one 50 years ago was Margot Kidder. Keir Dullea was in it. Was it? What? Oh, you saw a picture of it?
The cover of at least the 1974.
That's the one we saw.
Silent Night, Evil Night, and the cover of it is somebody sitting in a chair with a plastic bag suffocating over their face.
That's how it starts, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how the movie starts. But here's the problem, because I didn't realize this, and I could lead by saying Jane is his sister's name, wonderful person, beautiful young woman, very nice person. She goes out with me, and we go to dinner, and we go to see Black Christmas. I figured, got to be a few laughs in there, no big deal. In the first, I would say, 15 minutes of the movie, college, because it's about this guy hiding out in a college dorm and killing people, So I thought it's just going to be ridiculous, and whatever. In the first 15 minutes of the movie, when this guy's threatening people, I'm going to call and threaten everybody. He's doing that deal. He's calling them on the phone, right? Mm-hmm. In the first 15 minutes, the C word for women and the C word for men's body parts was said about 50 times. So I'm sitting next to a 20-year-old girl who is or a woman at that point, I guess. She was 20. One of my best friend's sister. And they're constantly just this vile language. I mean, they used every disgusting word they could come up with. And guess what? We watched it last night. I didn't remember any of that. But after watching it last night, I was like, oh, my God. Now I know why she never talked to me again. I mean, there were other reasons, I'm sure. But honest to God, they used... I don't even know how the C word for men, C word for women, what the woman should do to the man that started with a C word, what the guy wanted to do to the woman with her C word. I'm like, there's no wonder this woman never talked to me again. I must have looked like the biggest creep of all time.
Yeah, that's a very aggressive Christmas movie.
Really is.
Yeah.
But
and
Jane,
it'd be interesting if you were like talking it up in the car ride over there, like, oh, I hear this is I'm looking forward to this one a lot. Like, I can't I'm gonna check this one out. And then that's a rough start to the
it's just unbelievable. I look back at that now, all these years later, and go, well, no wonder. I'm good for her. I'm sure she's married to a very nice man and all the rest of it. She's a very nice person. I got lucky enough that I never took Catherine to see Black Christmas until last night, of course. So maybe she'll never talk to me again either, because I didn't remember all that language. I think maybe I shut it out intentionally.
Yeah, that might be one of those traumatic moments that your mind just automatically blacks out because you're like, yeah, we can't relive this ever again.
Oh, God, unbelievable.
No, there's I remember Snakes on a Plane with Samuel L. Jackson when I was probably like 10, 11 years old, something like that. And my grandma was like, oh, Samuel L. Jackson. I like Samuel L. Jackson. Let's watch this, Tevin. And I remember there's a lot of scenes in there and a lot of MFers that he drops. And I was like, Grandma, probably should not have watched this movie together.
Maybe not. Yeah. Catherine looked at me and said, you took a 20-year-old woman, or she said girl, actually, because she's a woman. Mm-hmm. You took a 20-year-old girl to this movie. Said, I didn't know it was like that. I thought it was a scary, kind of goofy movie that would be fun to watch.
What is Step Brothers?
Step Brothers, yeah.
That came out in 2008. In 2008, I was like 11, depending on like maybe after it went to DVD, I was 12. My sister is like 3 years younger, so just picture that in your head. Mm-hmm. We somehow tricked our parents into thinking that it was just another Will Ferrell family comedy. And then he's pulling out a prosthetic nutsack to drop on the drum set. And and it was, it was a very funny movie experience. Thank you, Blockbuster, for renting that to us.
Yes.
Well, once again, what's great about this, I'm glad I brought it up because I wasn't the only imbecile. All three of us were. So that's good.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There have been multiple times over my life. There's not enough show where I've had, foot and mouth.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. I suppose you better take a break here and just, So here, a little bit of advice. If you're 23 years old and you want to take a 20-year-old woman to a movie, why don't you track it down and see what's all about? Because,
Yeah, maybe read the synopsis.
That's a possibility. It is time for Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities. Wellshire Alzheimer's and Dementia Care Facilities are a place where your loved one or loved ones will live with pride and dignity. If you care deeply about someone in your life, Wellshire is the place I highly recommend. Wellshire is a memory care focused facility, has a full nursing team, always staffed within the building, and that, by the way, is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They've never used or relied on any staffing agencies, stuff like that. Wellshire Medina is now accepting elderly waivers after 12 months of private pay. I do know them personally for a couple of generations now, and they are a family-owned local company conveniently located right in Medina and Bloomington. They're the best staffed memory care facility in the state. Wellshire has a robust community with activities 7 days a week. If your loved one is in need of a memory care facility, please get in touch with my friends at Wellshire. Set up a tour or learn more at wellshiremn.com. That's WEALSHIREMN.com.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
My Pillow is glad to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so you need to get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that have been on sale for over a year, regular price of $119.98, are now only $59.98. The 6-piece towel sets, or 6-pack towel sets, whatever you want to call it. I'll go with 6-piece towel sets for today. They're back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, so much more. So go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all My Pillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98 or the 6-piece towel sets. I'm going to go with 6-pack this time. Towel sets for just $29.98. But that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025, plus all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Barnard Podcast.
I have to sit up. I was slumping too much in the chair. I almost fell asleep at one point.
Bad posture.
So it's really bad posture. There's no question about it, ladies and gentlemen. So basically, today, you're going to have to attack me personally.
Wow.
Because yesterday, Phil read my Wikipedia page on the show. And it's not exactly friendly to Uncle Tommy. I'm basically a racist, a homophobe, a thief, a bum, a liar. I mean, it was nice of him to read the whole thing, didn't you think?
Oh, that's outstanding. You know, what better holiday, the opening to
Right.
December, the holiday season at its zenith, than to hear what the nice things that Wikipedia, which I believe is open for anyone to get into, right? And add their own stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Now they can change it back or take it out. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, that is a very, very nice gesture by Phil. No question, Tom.
But I have a question for someone. Is there anyone on earth you'd want to attack that vigorously, venomously? I mean, there's nobody on earth that I would waste my time hating. But why? Because you knew it. They knew it wasn't true. None of it was true. But he read the whole thing. He couldn't stop laughing, first of all, by the way, which is really nice of Phil. Typical.
Yep, exactly right.
But no, it was quite the show yesterday because, look, I've been putting up with that for years because I'm not like, other people. I do understand that. But I think, Tevin, don't you think a lot of what they don't like about me is the fact that I grew up in the neighborhood I grew up in? Because we're not the same as people that grew up in, Edina or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. And in America, like, we love to, support somebody on their rise, but once they get up to the top and maybe get too big, and then it's like, okay, well, let's knock you down a little bit so that way we can get our second favorite thing, a nice comeback story. So we can't have you up at the top for too long.
Now, the reason I brought that up is I want to lead into, I'm thinking of going on Wikipedia today and talking about the quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, little Kirk Cousins?
4 interceptions? Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's coming unraveled just a bit for the young man, huh?
Has he ever been any good, ever?
Well, statistically, he's been a marvel at times, but he was at his best for probably Kevin O'Connell in 2022, and then they still lost in the playoffs because, in part, he checked it down. And then in 2023, before he tore his Achilles, he was statistically great. But has he won at a high level when it mattered most? No.
Never.
No, never. No. Not even close.
And his torn Achilles partner, Aaron Rodgers, is also struggling this year. So maybe there's some lingering effects of tear your Achilles. You can't just bounce back after 1 year.
Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old too. Dude, retire. Tom Brady was the anomaly, not the norm. This whole thing that athletes are trying to play professional sports into their 40s. I mean, God bless you, but it's not gonna end well most of the time. Brady, first of all, I mean, he's a freak. He lived a lifestyle of kale and didn't eat anything. But furthermore, it's just not normal for your body to be able to continue to play professional sports against guys in their 20s and 30s. I mean, your 30s are getting old in sports.
And yeah, there's no question about that. And like I said, I have never met Tom Brady, never even talked to him. But his mother and my mother were born in the same small town of in northern Minnesota, just outside of Long Prairie.
Yes. Okay.
They were both born there. And so I did support. We're both TB, of course. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I did watch him, always enjoyed him, but he might be the worst television announcer I have ever seen. He's horrendous at that. Why is he doing it?
Because he's making how much? $10 million a year, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, they gave him some absurd amount of money to show up and talk.
Do you think
what a waste of time?
Do you think he's the worst though? Because Joe Montana trying to do it was one of the most painful. I mean, Brady at least is guilty of probably just talking too much. Joe Montana was it was just painful.
Yeah, it's a 10-year, $375 million deal. Just to call those games. So it's I would say worth his time, no matter how good or bad.
I'm showing up, for that.
Yeah.
That's better than the deal I got with Hubbard.
Just slightly. Yeah.
Not me.
Not you.
Not me. My deal is, I mean, I don't talk about it, but let's just say the commas don't end.
They never end, later. The ongoing commas up into the quadrillions of dollars. When are we going to see quadrillions of dollars, by the way? We're going to try trillions. When does quadrillion kick in?
No. Who's the richest? Elon, the richest person in the world?
Well, the debt, though, right? The debt would go to quadrillions eventually.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's a good question. I would say after, I would say it'll be 20 more years, but I don't know.
Who knows?
That's a good one.
I mean, Elon's a third of the way there, so at least it's close.
There you go. He is. What's he worth? Like 250, 300 billion now?
343 billion.
343 billion. You'd never see me at a dinner or on TV ever again if I was worth $343 billion.
You wouldn't buy Twitter?
Hell no. Goodbye. See you later. No way. I was thinking about that. It might be like $3.40 actually, not 340 million or billion or whatever the hell it is. It's a lot of money, man. Lots and lots of money. But what the hell? Do you want to talk sports today, or is it a situation?
No, the Wolves won last night.
No, they did. Okay.
Yeah. We got a big victory. The Lakers took it on the chin, 109-80. So a disastrous 4-game homestand that began with back-to-back defeats and Ant Edwards melting down after the Wednesday defeat and calling out his teammates ends with 2 consecutive wins.
Yep.
Speaking of players looking old, I went last night and the Lakers, first of all, were playing a back-to-back. So ordinarily, like, your superstar will just sit out the second game, especially on the road.
Yeah.
Well, LeBron James did not sit out. To his credit, he played. So he played in back-to-backs. But, oh, my God, 4 of 16 from the field. 0 of 4 from 3. You talk about, I feel bad for the kid who went last night. Dad had probably told him that he, grew up watching LeBron play.
Right.
And now, Sonny, I'm going to take you to the game, and you're going to see a guy that your father grew up emulating. And you got clank. And the kid's like, what the hell are you talking about? Why am I here watching this crap? And the old man's crestfallen. He gets home. His wife says, you shouldn't have gone. His day sucks today. His Tuesday's just terrible now.
Right. Luckily, I never went through that because my 2 heroes in basketball, I mean, there were many over the years, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and people like that. But my 2 biggest heroes, because I got to meet him one time and sit and talk to him, Dr. J. I love Dr. J. and Larry Bird. I used to like Kevin McHale until I met him.
Well, Bird too, though, right?
What?
Bird was a horse's ass too, right?
I never met him, so I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I never met him.
Now, Dr. J, I'm with you. What, he started in the ABA, Virginia Squires, right? And then New York Nets.
Yep.
And then now I remember when I started to follow basketball, he was with the Sixers by then. But yeah, Dr. J was all the rage before Bird and Magic came in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Dr. J,
and what a great name.
Being in the same, absolutely. Being in the same room with him, the only problem with that, sitting down and talking to him for an hour, was you felt less and less and less important in the world. You're like,
oh, yeah. That's okay.
God, what a great guy, too. I mean, just the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet. That's how it should be.
That's perfect. And
yep.
And the thing too is I don't know exactly when he retired in the 80s, but as I recall, he was not washed.
Right. No, I don't know. Who knows what the hell that's all about? But see, I never knew that Larry Bird's a raging prick. I never paid much
I think
attention.
He was a major prick across the board.
Was he really?
Oh, God. I guess he was just a complete horse's ass on the floor. Now, that's not surprising. But, yeah, I've not heard a lot of great things about Bird.
He was a hillbilly, though, kind of, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, that was the thing. That's what I figured.
Yeah, he was a beer-drinking French lick kid who didn't give a damn and was as good as it possibly gets. And, of course, Magic was, lit up a room, and everybody loves Magic, and he was all the rage. And I think Bird did not take that super well.
What's great about that? You can just call him the prick from French Lick. How great is that?
That'd be a great T-shirt. That would have been a great T-shirt.
Well, let's make him now. We can still commemorate him.
That's true. I don't know that the majority of people would have a clue what we're talking about, unfortunately. But it's a great T-shirt idea.
Probably not. That's the one thing that kind of drove me away is because I used to admire these athletes, amazing abilities and all the rest of it. But I got to be honest with you. I mean, I've met Tommy Kramer is a great guy. Always has been to me. I would criticize him. You go, hey, Tommy, how you doing? He was just great about that. Mm-hmm. But you don't want to meet your heroes, except for people like Dr. J and Tommy Kramer and people like that. They're very rare, though, don't you think?
Oh, yeah. Unless you're prepared for it. Like, if you're prepared for it. But, I don't think that there's a lot of good, lots of times, that comes from that. And what's probably worse than sports, not that they were your heroes, but people that you certainly knew, what's probably worse than sports is Hollywood, right?
Oh, God. Can you even? Oh, God.
Because those people that you used to have on your show, now you probably didn't give a damn. I mean, if they were good, it was great, but, But
right.
I would say Hollywood is far more ripe with a-holes probably than even sports is.
I would say the huge exception to that, and there are others too, very nice people.
Sure.
But being in the same room with Carol Burnett, what a sweetheart.
Oh,
of a
no
human
kidding.
being. Oh, God,
I
she's
still
the sweetest.
love that show, man. I
Oh,
watch
yeah.
that show with my family.
Yep,
Sunday nights, right?
Absolutely. Sunday nights. She's like 90-something now. Well, she was just on another series. What the hell's the name of that
Oh,
series?
the one you were watching that's like based in Florida.
Yeah, Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Palm something.
Her and Dick Van Dyke are
Another great guy.
Well, but they're still alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Dick Van Dyke, I'm always amazed he's still alive, and he's
I know.
and I've seen him. He's lucid.
But maybe we should learn a lesson there. Dick Van Dyke and Carol Burnett are both still alive, and both of them were very, very nice people. Maybe if you're a prick, you die younger.
Well, that's possible. That's possible.
See?
Well, and Dick as well was a raging alcoholic.
Yeah, at one time.
Until the 70s, I think the early 70s, he got
that's
sober.
about right. I think that's about right. But yeah, I mean, it's the one thing about this job that I do. I've met just about every big shot in the world and all the rest of it, and some not so great, and others just what a treat. I suppose it's how life is, like going to high school. Some people are great, and others are oh god.
So who was the biggest? Is there a biggest a-hole who appeared on the KQ show?
Oh my God, I'd have to look back because there's probably about a 50-point tie there.
Wow.
Let me think about that. Who's the biggest prick we ever had on the show? Oh, there's a few of them, more than a few of them. But on the other hand, there are many, many very nice people as well. So.
Right. But they're coming in cold, right? And it's probably a car wash thing, so they're talking to this station and that station. So like it takes a special type of person to be like even if you're a prick to come on and act like you're a decent person.
Well, I just thought of the one guy definitely is way, way, way up at the top of that, and I can't remember his name, but I think that's intentional.
Okay.
He was such an asshole. Oh, God. He came in to do the show live, and he brought along another guy with him, and I don't remember the guy's name either. But I asked the guy he brought with him a question. I can't remember what the hell. Yeah, I'm not going to let the guy sit there and be silent, don't even acknowledge the guy, right?
Right, yeah.
So I asked the guy a question. And what the hell is his name? He got thrown out of Hollywood. He was a star on a show called Millions or something like that.
You're not talking about, is this Piven?
Jeremy Piven.
Yeah.
How did you know?
Because I feel like I've either heard this.
Were you there?
Before or I know that there's because we always call him. Kristen calls him the pivot. That's why.
Oh, the pivot. There. But honest to God, what a prick. Oh, God. So I asked the guy brings him in. He's in studio with us. He's not saying a word. So I figured I'd engage the guy just so, be pleasant. So I asked him a question, and Piven goes, do you know how to do your job? I'm here to talk to you. You talk to me, not anybody else.
Oh, wow.
Okay, let me talk to you. Goodbye. There. I just talked to you. What a prick that guy was.
And he used to be in all of the John Cusack films because they were like big buddies, and something happened there.
Oh, there's a shock.
Big falling out between the two of them.
Yeah, I don't think Piven's ever worked again after just the way he treated him. Well, he did something illegal or something. Does anybody know what he did? He tried to pull off some scam or scheme or something. I guess they fight, and he's never worked again. He took his TV show off the air and everything.
He had sexual assault,
harassment,
misconduct by 8 women in 2017 and 2018.
8 women?
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Maybe you never did get the hint, huh?
No, doesn't look like it.
Jesus, what a terrible person.
He was huge on Entourage, right? That
yes.
was his
he was
biggest claim to fame.
Yep.
Yeah. Who was perfectly that character. So
or as Dean Pritchard in Old School.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, do any of the three of you have a nephew or a son or anything like that that's about 4 or 5 years old?
No. Nope.
But how long has it been since you've seen like a 4 or 5 year old boy?
Maybe like 4 or 5 years. Or I guess I've got like a friend that has a kid about that age. So
I've probably passed one out in public here.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
then you'd understand when I say that's how tall Jeremy Piven is.
Oh.
So there you go.
Oh, so
God,
he's
what a
the
prick.
so he's got the size thing.
Oh, big
So wait.
time.
Shorter or taller than Michael J. Fox?
Shorter. Oh, he's
wow,
tiny.
Because Michael J. Fox is a small guy.
But great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Michael J. Fox was a great guy. Now I feel there's a special out about him, right?
Yep.
I don't even know what's the disease called that he has.
Parkinson's.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is Parkinson's that did that to him.
And he's had it for years.
Years, yeah. Really nice man. Really good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't Jeremy Piven get Parkinson's? Just pass it over to him.
I'm not going to wish that. That's bad. That's
You're
bad
right.
karma right there, man.
You're right.
Myself from this conversation.
Yeah, we probably should anyway.
I was just curious about who the biggest jerk was because I'm sure you've dealt with.
There've been a.
Did you have Billy Bob Thornton on?
I know Billy Bob really well.
Okay, because he's another. Have you ever seen when he went on? I think it was CBC Radio in Canada touring with his band, and the host, who's really good, asked him about his acting, and he became like very oddly, I don't know what was up with him, indignant about it. You know?
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
he's a
he's
great
like you
guy.
wouldn't ask Tom Petty about his acting. He's a musician, and that's what and it was just. But I don't know if he was also something. He was on something. It was a very bizarre thing.
Could be because he's been in studio several times. I've talked to him on the phone a lot. Just a great guy. I don't know. That's too bad. I love his new show. What was it called? Landman?
Landman. I've seen
really
clips
good show.
of it. It's very interesting. Yes.
Very, very good. But yeah, in general, most of the people that came in were. I mean, look, I got to meet Peter Falk in person. That's one of the greatest moments of my life.
You got Columbo?
Yep, Columbo.
Love Peter Falk.
And the greatest thing about it is he actually does talk like that.
Did he?
Tommy, I'll see you again soon, all right?
He said, and then he turned around and said, "Just one more thing.
One more thing.
Just one more."
That's
Great
exactly
Columbo line.
Love that line. All right, young man, you're going to be on with us tomorrow and Thursday, and then you're probably just going to quit your job, I heard.
I have. I hope not. I hope AJ didn't say that and he knows something I don't know.
I think it was Phil.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, that's
even worse.
Well,
Phil,
if that's the case, I'll be looking for a job. So
you'll be fine. Don't worry about a thing. All right, Palomino, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Outstanding. See you guys.
Thanks a lot, Judd Zulgad. Ladies and gentlemen, SKOR North along with Phil. It's a hell of a. That show's growing bigger and bigger, isn't it?
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Yeah, doing really, really. And it should because they're both really. Don't tell them I said this, but they're both really good guys.
Don't worry. They won't hear it.
Zip it up. We'll take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert join us right after this. Speaking of great guys, you know what I mean? Huh? K&L Surplus and Ammo is your one-stop shop for all things firearm related, located on Lake Drive in Circle Pines. Jim, the owner, has over 25 years of experience, offers honest value and great prices with free shipping on a huge selection of handguns, shotguns, AR, and conventional rifles. Over the years, K&L has established the buying power of larger stores, and that's what keeps the cost down. If you're looking for a firearm or need to stock in some ammunition, go to K&L Surplus and Ammo on Lake Drive in Circle Pines. Say hello to Jim for me. He's a really good guy. Online at www.klgunstore.com.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain, and chip issues all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face. Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot.
Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation. The number is 952-925-5608. Put your glasses back on. I watched you this morning. You had your glasses on.
I don't have to read a teleprompter for this shot, so I'm okay.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, you guys are just close enough. I can see you if I bring it in a little bit more.
Let's see if we do this.
You look good today, Tom.
Oh, because I'm wearing black? The man in black?
What's on your hat?
You don't know what that is, that logo is?
I can't see it, Tom.
I better.
Is it the first man to step on the moon?
Nope.
It looks like a guy flipping a pizza or something like that.
I cannot believe you guys don't know what that logo is.
This is the
Patriot?
WW.
World War II.
Yeah, that's it. Wounded Warriors, for Christ's sake.
Oh.
God, you guys are mean. You guys are very mean.
Still mean.
What's that guy's name again?
The one that fought in World War II? I don't know.
No, the guy who started Wounded Warriors. Remember his brother was a cop or firefighter that died in the 9/11?
Michael Linnington?
No.
Well, okay, well, he's the CEO.
Frank.
Caliendo.
Yes, Frank Caliendo. That's exactly. Oh, speaking of that, by the way.
Steve Nardizzi, John Malia,
His name is Frank.
Oh, well, he's not listed on the founders page.
Well, he was the founder, so. Or maybe it's Wounded Warriors is different. Who the hell knows? But in any case, I got a call yesterday because you brought up Frank Caliendo, who's a dear friend of mine, known Frank forever, but another dear friend called yesterday. I have to put up for an entire week. I can't say when.
Okay.
I have to put up with an entire week of Nick Swardson.
Oh, I think he's got like a new special or he's out on tour or something right now. I just saw an ad.
He's out. No question. I talked to him last night, Catherine. I didn't tell Catherine who it was. And the great thing about that is Catherine said, oh, God, I don't want to talk to anybody. And all of a sudden she goes, oh, it's you. What the hell are you doing? Frank has been a dear. I've known his family forever. He has known my family forever. Nick is one of the great guys of all time. And, might have a drink with you once in a while, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, from what I've heard. Wasn't he on a plane that he got landed and maybe show might have had to get canceled or rescheduled? Yeah.
It might be a possibility. But I've known, I've known him for, I don't even know, 30 years maybe, something like that. But yeah, I talked to him last night. He's going to be in town for about, I don't know, I think it's coming up in February or something like that. But he'll be in town for a while. Very, very funny guy. There's no question about it. But, his family, his, mother, brother, sisters, I like him the least. I like everybody in his family more than I like him. Is that fair?
I think so.
Yeah. Why not? But Catherine thinks the world of Nick, so. And I do too, let's be honest.
He's a funny dude. His social media is pretty funny too. I enjoy it.
He's such a nut job. I went to dinner with him in West Palm Beach about a year ago, and we barely made it out of the restaurant. Everybody, they were having a fit, which I suppose he's been on TV once or twice, no question about it. Do you get harassed a lot when you go out to dinner? I'm talking to you, Egert. You pill.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's definitely not talking to me and AJ.
Yes.
I'm lucky.
No, not harassed. It all depends. It's weird. It all depends on like the day or the crowd or like you.
Yeah, that's true.
Most days, nothing. But like then one day, it happens to be like the day where there's like 10 people there who happen to be. So, but I
understand
also
that.
don't look like a news person when I'm out in real life either. Like
the teleprompter doesn't just follow you around.
Like it's like baseball hat, hooded sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, I
sport.
suppose that's true.
I
suppose it is true.
Not the same person.
I used to hang out with Paul Majors a lot. Play a lot of golf with it. He and Passelt, and then when you went out to dinner with those two, it was a massive pain.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was unbelievable. Now they're both, I don't know. Well, I know we're past it. I haven't talked to Paul Majors in years now. God, it's been a long, long time. But
you watch that Broadcast Wars thing yet?
What's Broadcast Wars?
Kathy Wurzer came out with a documentary on TPT. It just aired.
Oh, I love Kathy Wurzer.
All about the news battles of the 70s, 80s, and the glory days in the Twin Cities. And I've been getting a bunch of texts about it the last few days. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but we had Wurz on a couple months ago talking about it, and she's pretty excited about it.
The only thing I love about her, because I've known her for a long time, and I just ran into her, as a matter of fact, about a month ago, because Don Shelby a lot of guys. Dave Lee wrote a play, and everybody who starred in the play was like a news person, and Kathy Wurzer was one of them, along with her husband, who's also a good guy. But Kathy Wurzer, it's hilarious because when I bring her up on the air and all that stuff, she goes, "Stop telling people you know me." Yes, dear.
Doesn't want to tarnish that reputation.
Doesn't want to tarnish that PBS reputation by knowing me.
That's right.
No, she's a great person. She's a very talented woman and really a nice person.
You might look into that. I've heard a lot of, and everybody in it too, Tom, and that, so I think you'd probably get a kick out of it. My buddy Todd just texted me about it last night, who's a regular listener to your podcast. And I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but hey, in the news, I just want to let you guys know, we're just kind of learning more about it this morning, but there was an presumably older woman who was killed in a fire in an apartment complex in Robbinsdale last night. I don't have the name of the complex yet, but it was at West Broadway and 39th Avenue North.
Oh, God.
And a bunch of people had to be booted out into the cold this morning and with the fire, and no word on a cause or anything yet, but that we're sort of gathering information on that as we speak. So I wanted to let people know that. And also unfortunate thing that happens this time of year. A couple people fell through the ice in Woodbury yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know how well they're doing either. And a guy up in Superior, Wisconsin, fell through the ice and died. So the weather's been a lot cooler, which the ice is starting to form, but it definitely, I don't know. I'm not the ice police, but I've just informed you of 3 people who've fallen through the ice in the last couple of days, and it doesn't appear to be ready yet in a lot of places. So
yeah, no question about it.
I know you have a lot of listeners who are itching to get out on the lake. Ice fishing was terrible last year, but
too warm.
Hopefully the ice will start to firm up a little bit more. But
can you imagine how horrifying that is? You fall through the ice, you drift, so you cannot find a way to get out.
Yeah, it is awful to think about.
No doubt about it. Although I have a friend, I won't name him. He's a dear friend, though. Lived out in Minnetonka, bought a brand new car, and on his way home, he decided to drive on it was like February.
I can already tell you where this story's going, right? One of the channels, I bet.
You got to try to drive under a bridge. Ugh. Not a good idea. Goodbye. He tried to drive under. Don't you know how water flows there, buddy?
Every year, those channels are so famously unpredictable. It's
Yep.
Thank God he's all right. I mean, I assume he was all right.
I mean, physically, but not mentally. He's nuts.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he was a little hot about losing the car, but
yeah, no question about it. That's such his life.
Not everyone's gonna think this is a hot take, but I don't like driving on the ice, man. It freaks me out. I'm not into it. I know a lot of people are perfectly fine with it. I hear the ice crack and I'm like, hell no, get off this now.
So you're no Gordon Bombay in Mighty Ducks 1.
No. I'm just not. I'll go on the ice. I don't like to drive on it. The couple times I've had to drive on it, one of them was to rescue my dumb kid who got stuck out of the lake one night.
Sure.
Oh my God, I wanted to wring his neck.
Hey, how's he doing with his with the concussion? Everything good now?
Not great. Season's over, and he's still I got to go see a neurologist in a couple weeks. It's just one of those that hit pretty bad. That's why when you see that crap like thanks for asking, AJ. That Trevor Lawrence hit. It's like football's a violent sport. I get it. I played it. You played it, Tevin. Kid plays it. It doesn't have to be like that, though, to a certain extent. That was bullshit, that hit on him. I don't know. I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. But
God, you just reminded me of a wonderful story. I have a dear friend. I won't say his name. He died, unfortunately, several years ago. Died way too young. But we're up at his they're not really called a cabin on a lake. When you're out on the ice, it was like a four-seater, though. It was a bigger...
His ice shack or his...
Ice shack, yeah, that's a good way to put it, I guess. An ice shack deal. And I went outside with another guy, and the guy at the next ice shack or whatever had been drinking too much, so he was just like... just a real prick. He was just being a jerk to us.
I can see that.
Right? Okay, one problem he had, though, is because, first of all, the guy I was out there with and I would not have had much of a problem. The guy was hammered. But all of a sudden, the door opened, and out comes my buddy, who's 6'6", weighs about 290, and his shoulders are about as broad as Lindale Avenue.
Yep.
The guy went back into his own little cabin.
Howard back into his
Yes, he did.
To piss himself.
God, I miss him. I won't say his name, but I will tell you this. His brother-in-law was a member of a very famous organization.
Hell's Angels, perhaps?
You got it. How did you know that?
Because when I think of like just big, badass MF, the Hell's Angels top of the list.
That is true, man. You guys nailed that one.
I used to work out in Rapid City and the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally.
Oh, sure.
There was one of our engineers who was, you see this dude coming, you would go to the other side of the street. But I was buddies with him. His name was, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want an affiliation to what gang he was in. But I love going to the bars with that man. It was
God, yes.
We're running the show tonight because nobody's messing with my guy.
That's exactly how it was, too. I mean, there were other big guys in that group, but not as big as he was, I will tell you that. Holy God. But
all right, guys, I got to roll.
No, we're keeping you the rest of the day, we decided.
All right.
Tomorrow, Chris, Hotel Ivy. We have to talk about the Hotel Ivy because I heard they're getting sued for.
We'll know more about it tomorrow too. So yeah, we'll do.
Excellent. Okay. Thanks, Pally. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, Channel 5's Chris Egert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. I love the fact that Chris Egert always has to tell us every day he has to go because I just keep him on the air for, I think, the world of that guy. He's a great guy.
Oh, yeah, he's the greatest. He can cover like all the serious topics of the news, but then he also like gets sent out to like the chili feed in Anoka.
Right, yes.
Like that as well. Like he can do it all.
Yeah. So you talking to him about that hotel out on the island? Hotel Ivy?
Downtown, Hotel Ivy. They had an article that was on KSTP where somebody got arrested for sex trafficking and they nicknamed him Minneapolis Jeffrey Epstein. And so I was like, that's something that you don't really just throw around. So like, there's got to be more to it. So,
but isn't that hotel on the island just kind of across from De La Salle?
Oh no, you're talking about that's the Nicollet Inn.
The Nicollet Island Inn. That's right.
Any sex trafficking. That is.
No, I'm not saying they were. I just
that if wants to can set up something with the show.
They also have a wonderful event space. So if you're getting married, you can get married on the island. It's beautiful.
The staff there is lovely.
10 out of 10.
What was the name of that restaurant out there at the Hotel Ivy? I mean, at the Nicollet Island Inn. It was a really good restaurant.
Is it not the Nicollet Diner? It's like the Nicollet Inn Diner. I don't know, something like that.
Something like that.
It's like a great lunch spot to go to.
Loved it. My brother Troy played basketball at De La Salle, so that's where I first ran into that hotel, and that was many, many years ago. But Love that area. Well, Minneapolis, St. Paul is a great area. If they would just clean it up a little bit, that'd be really nice. So you could walk down the street without being stabbed to death. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, and maybe if it didn't smell like piss.
Well, that's the other part. If it didn't smell like piss, that'd be good too, like back in the old days.
Now, I know you both, Tom, I know you especially have lived in New York, and I know, Tevin, you've been there a handful. As somebody who went there once on an 8th grade field trip, has really never been to New York City, can both of you explain to me, yes, the steam that just rises out of the sewers?
Right.
Is that just evaporating like
I don't want to
sewage?
think about what
Is that not
dead bodies,
Is that
things
not
like
what it
that.
is?
Yeah, because it all gets washed down there, and even here in Minneapolis, you'll walk by a grate every once in a while, and it'll just smell like urine and nastiness. So,
The thing about that is that Catherine and I lived there 38 years ago. It was a whole different city back then. You did not mess with people on the street in New York City back in those days. Now, I guess I wouldn't even go down to Manhattan. Probably wouldn't even go down there where I used to live.
Did you live there when there was that serial killer in Times Square? I saw a documentary about it, and it was back, I think, in the 60s, 70s.
Why do you think Tom left?
I was going to say, just a coincidence, all stopped when I moved back to Minneapolis.
Yeah,
but,
interesting.
I don't know what the hell.
My last day on the show.
We lived there 38 years ago, so so that was 1986.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we left there in 1986. We lived there in 84, 85, 86, something like that. So I loved it. Absolutely loved living there, but it was except for one thing, and I've told you this many, many times before, the Puerto Rican kids that kicked my ass at stickball across the street at the PS, the public school. My God, those kids could play. Where you got the broom handle and you got the little tiny ball.
Yeah, you never stood a chance.
Oh, never had a chance. None. They were phenomenal. No question about it. And then, of course, they shut down the delicatessen, the Carnegie Deli, which pisses me off to this day. One of the greatest restaurants of all time. They sat down next to Robert Plant by accident, had a wonderful conversation. Henny Youngman walking in the door, looking at the servers going, "Hey, lady, your tits are showing." Oh, God. Okay, Henny, why don't you settle down there, buddy? All right, we got everything covered. We got to take a break here.
Yeah, let's. I'm trying to think.
Figuring out as we go, I guess. Yeah, we take a break.
No, let's do that, and then I'll get Josh Arnold on maybe a minute or two earlier than normal.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Good.
That'll work out great.
We'll be back.
Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Sometimes the anxiety for wondering if you saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? My guy, Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk, can sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk. Never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608. Set up your free 48-minute no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments must involve risk. You know that. All comments and opinions of Josh Arnold do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
My Pillow is glad to announce their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They will not last long, so get them while you can. The famous My Slippers that haven't been on sale for over a year, regular price of $119.98, are now only $59.98. The six-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of My Pillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. From bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. Go to MyPillow.com, call 800-516-5146. Be sure to use promo code TOM to save on all My Pillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or the six-piece towel sets for just $29.98, but that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-516-5146 today. And please do use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. A little news, little information. Let me know when Josh is ready to go.
We're all set.
Josh, how long were you in the Hells Angels?
Oh, about 55 years.
About 55 years. Good.
Working the way up the ranks.
Indeed. That's exactly. Josh Arnold as a Hells Angel.
See the size of my bike.
Yes.
There's no way that anybody's going to push that sucker over.
Very good. I like that. Mr. Arnold, how's everything?
Everything, Tom, is phenomenal.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Phenomenal. How can it not be? The weather is great here. We have no rain. We have no lake effect snow.
You're just making it up as you go along here? Is that what you're doing?
I'm making it up.
There you go. It all works out in the end.
The temperature is in double digits.
Well, that's true. It is in double digits. I just, I've been thinking a lot about you lately, watching the national news, man. Being a nice yeshiva boys, not shining brightly in New York City or Los Angeles. I still don't understand that, Josh. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I can't stand even hearing about it because the way I grew up, right?
Yeah. Well, we know that where you grew up in North Minneapolis, you were right next door to the temple on one side, and you were next to the church on the other.
That's exactly right.
You were no different. You were no different than Mitch Albom, where he grew up in Haddon Township, New Jersey. He went where he went. There was St. Aloysius shared a parking lot with Temple Beth Shalom, and they might have even shared a gym, but the yeshiva boys had big problems against the Catholic boys playing basketball
because they weren't as tall.
Well, they weren't as tall. They weren't as tough because, as you know, the sisters just beat the crap out of all the unruly boys.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The 1-inch stick, yardstick. You know that.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah.
And it wasn't
question.
just wrapping the knuckle.
No.
Now, today you can't get away with any of that stuff.
No, you cannot. It's very, very true.
Unless, of course, you go to the Catholic school and the sisters, they no longer use the yardstick. They just use the 1-foot ruler. So,
they do indeed. The reason I came up is I was watching the news this morning. I'm hopping around several different channels, and this guy walks up to a guy on the street in New York, sticks his hand out, and the guy says, "I don't shake hands with people like you." He goes, "What do you mean? You don't shake?"
No. That could have been in New York, but I saw that on the news at UCLA.
Oh, that's right. UCLA is the other one where the guy said, "I don't shake hands with Zionists."
Right.
Like, what?
The kid responds and said, "Well, did you know that 97% of Jews are Zionists?" And the kid and the other guy said, "Well, I said the pro-Palestinian or pro-Hamas kid said, well, I don't shake hands with the other 3% either."
God, it's insane, Josh. It's crazy.
And you look at the guy and you say, "Oh, you're pro-Hamas? Jeez. You're dressed awfully nicely.
Yeah.
You speak perfect English, and I haven't heard a word of Arabic coming from you."
No, not happening.
What is, where do you actually come from? Well, let me tell you. Okay. It's just a bunch of very privileged kids who want to identify with people they feel that are oppressed. And,
I guess, man.
And none of them would ever want to be in that situation. Nor, I believe, would any of them contribute money for helping those underprivileged people.
Yeah, I don't. It's a woman that's running UCLA now that's kind of pushing this whole deal, isn't it?
Yes, there's a woman that keeps pushing this, and it's just unbelievable that that if you put that woman in Gaza, where she would stand.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh, I put that back. I should put that. I'm not sure she would be standing.
Yeah, probably not. We'll close it with a little bit of humor. As a little boy, Plymouth Avenue, Plitman's Deli, I've talked about it many times, but I've never brought this up before because as I walk by, I cannot tell you how many times I heard two grown men say to one another, "Jew eat? No, Jew." I thought it was hilarious. And they looked at me like, we're hilarious. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So look, I mean, that's who you are. Keep it to yourself. I don't even want to hear it, for Christ's sake. Blacks, Jews, Catholics, whatever it is you hate, shut up. Leave me alone.
Yeah, everybody can get along.
Yep.
We can all get along here in the United States. If you have an issue, it's go to class.
Yeah, there you go. Learn something.
Go to class. Well, I'm not going to go there.
I know where you were going to.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. People, I can't deal with any of that nonsense.
No.
As you know, you can't go to class. Pack it up, and we'll put you to work. We'll put you to work in the Ford plant in St. Paul.
It's going to be tough.
I know.
Just walk around the dirt pit. Is that what they're going to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to work there.
I love it.
Not one of these kids, these privileged kids, has ever worked day labor.
No.
Has ever worked in a factory. I'm guessing has never worked as a dishwasher in a restaurant. Just anyway, I'm not going there. My job is to help people accumulate money for retirement. The markets have been, we'll say, semi-cheering Donald Trump's election with the belief that tax rates are going to stay low, and with the hope for continuation of the 2017 Tax Act, which greatly benefited all levels of income and reduced taxes on corporations which gave them more money for expanding their businesses and investments. Not to mention, of course, repatriated a tremendous amount of money that U.S. corporations or multinational corporations held overseas. So that was a good thing. The negative coming from the new administration is going to be tariffs, and I'm not a big tariff guy, as you're aware, and that, I'll say, that could negate some of the continued tax cuts. The other thing that the market is cheering is the focus on economic growth, and that could benefit a large swath of U.S. companies. Meantime, results were in from Black Friday, which showed that online shopping increased greatly. There was over $33 billion spent online, which definitely benefited one of my favorite companies, which is Amazon. Also provided some benefits to Walmart, Costco, and others. Online shopping did not benefit any of the dollar stores. I'm guessing that people now can see they can get very good bargains at Walmart, Amazon, and Costco, and are willing to go there. I don't know what the results are from Cyber Monday, but if any indication of, based on what's going on in the stock market today, is there, Cyber Monday should have been just as good as Black Friday. So that to me is a positive. Meantime, the Dow Jones has hit a new record. The S&P is pushing to a record, as is NASDAQ. With that said, next year may not see the type of stock market growth that we have seen this year or last year, but that does not mean that individual stocks won't continue to see moves up. And I'm also of the belief that the large technology companies, which have all now been hit with, we'll say, DOJ antitrust actions, some of that may disappear next year under the new administration, because the new administration wants to promote U.S. companies.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that could be a good thing with that. And I would continue focusing, at least in my view, because I've continued focusing on companies involved in the internet, and that would lead to the uses of generative artificial intelligence. So that will continue to build out in the coming year and years. People will have more money to spend that will benefit leisure companies, which could include, we'll say, sports-related companies, whether it's Lululemon, Nike, which is going to be a turnaround, benefit some of the cruise lines, whether it's Royal Caribbean or Viking cruise lines, and it'll probably benefit people going to watch Ultimate Fighting or Worldwide Entertainment, the wrestling, or even going to live concerts. So plenty of beneficiaries there. And lastly, Well, I'm not an investor in Disney. Disney's recent movie, was it MoMA 2?
Moana.
MoMA. I like MoMA, though. Yo, MoMA.
Yo, MoMA. Yeah. That's you heard a lot of that in your neighborhood.
A whole lot of Yo MoMA in my neighborhood, yes.
That movie had the biggest box office over Thanksgiving weekend. The biggest box office ever.
220 million? Is that right?
It's just a huge number, and that will go to Disney's bottom line, and we'll see what develops there. But leisure spending will continue. Money spent on internet-related companies will continue, and those have been my focus areas now for several decades. It's worked out pretty well.
Indeed. We have a new closing now for the Josh Arnold segment. When I say to him, "Do you eat?"
No. You?
Yo MoMA. We got the entire closing now for your show. Who loves you more than me, Josh? That's what I want to know.
My mother.
That's true. I've met your mother. She does love you more than me. All right, Palomino, we will talk to you soon, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, and my mother does love you too.
She does, man. I love your mother, and you got a great family. I will tell you that. Your family is terrific.
Okay.
All right, Pally.
You're enjoying your new grandchild.
Oh, God, yes. Colin, he looks at me like, what the hell's with that voice? What kind of voice is that? But it all works out. All right, let me say again, you're MoMA, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Arnold. Only Josh could come up with a great new movie called Yo MoMA.
Box office is killing it with Yo MoMA.
Yo MoMA.
I love the Moana, Yo MoMA, whatever the hell it is, right?
It's great.
All right, we'll take a break. Be right back, though. Yo MoMA, Kristyn Burtt, KB2 up next.
I'm talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, business owners have had to deal with a lot over the last few years, haven't they?
They sure have, Tommy. We pride ourselves on being able to help our customers with the challenges they face.
Our business bankers are experts and are always ready to help our customers capitalize on opportunities and solve problems.
Loan decisions come quickly because they're made here in the Twin Cities and not shipped out of state like at some of the national banks in town.
This allows our customers to expand their businesses with confidence, knowing that they have our team of experts in their corner.
Okay, so now you give me this big thing at the end. Way to go.
Well, you are the professional.
Oh, I forgot.
Look, I know Brad and Mike, and I trust them with my banking. They've personally delivered on everything they've just said, so why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Barnard Podcast, and I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
You're listening to the Tom Barnard Podcast.
You horn tootin', ladies and gentlemen. Kristyn Burtt, Entertainment News, brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. So you heard that Josh Arnold on my show changed the name of the movie to Yomoma. Moana.
That was hilarious. He was like, Momo, Mama.
Just like the biggest movie out right now.
220 million or something?
I guess, 225 million was the final total at the end of yesterday. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think that Josh saw Moana, the first film, either.
Probably not.
No.
Yep. That is my guess.
That's what I'm thinking. No question about it. So what's the latest with you, sister?
Oh, my goodness. Well, since we're talking Moana, let's talk kids TV, because I know a lot of your listeners are parents and grandparents. And a lot of people grew up either as Sesame Street kids or they were Nickelodeon, Disney Channel. Kids aren't watching these anymore. And the numbers from Nielsen are astonishing. I looked at this and I was like, my mind was blown, to be honest. And let me just make sure I pull it up because I want to be really accurate with this. So these are the Nielsen numbers. Disney Channel between 2016 and 2023 fell off 90%.
Oh, God.
Nickelodeon plummeted 86% in the ratings.
Oh, man.
What?
And do you believe that? I mean, because kids grew up with, think a bit, Blue's Clues, SpongeBob SquarePants, Sesame Street, which is, of course, PBS. But Sesame Street, if you want to watch brand new episodes, you have to subscribe to HBO or Max, because the first run episodes are no longer on PBS. They eventually migrate over to PBS. But because of funding and how expensive it was, the first run episodes are now over of Sesame Street are on HBO Max.
I will show you how easy it is to entertain me by using one word, and that would be cookie. I love the Cookie Monster. Well, come on, man. We got to have the Cookie Monster.
Yeah, and what's the budget to make Sesame Street? Like, I would think that's a pretty low budget show.
Well, I mean, I think you just have to remember, in general, it's expensive to run any type of show. You've got to create new Muppets. You've got to pay are they called puppeteers, Jim Henson.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
You're writing new songs. They do new segments, like animated segments. They do skits. There's a lot that goes into it that we don't necessarily think about. And the kids really aren't interested in that. What are they most interested in? The number one streaming channel out there.
Netflix.
No. Higher than that. AJ, you got this.
Disney Plus?
No. Tom, you got this.
A porn channel?
No.
Oh, Jesus. YouTube.
Yes. All right.
No, YouTube.
That makes total sense. We're talking about this.
Streamers and stuff like that, or like watching other kids open up some toys and stuff like that.
Miss Rachel, if anybody has a toddler, even a newborn, like newborns are listening to Miss Rachel, and she's a former preschool teacher who during the pandemic started a YouTube channel and has done gangbusters. She's big on TikTok, and kids hear her voice and they go bananas.
You know, it's so sad. What was the name? I do remember when Andy was a little boy watching Sesame Street. What were the name of those two guys that sat in the balcony in the theater?
Oh, that's the Muppets. That is
Isn't that on Sesame Street, though?
Like the old Grouch.
No, the Grouchy ones in the balcony. That's the Muppets. That is Stanford, Waldorf and Stanford, Waldorf and
something like that. Well, not according to Andy when he was like 2 years old. He thought it was me. Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much, son.
Statler and Waldorf. That's
Statler
right.
and Waldorf. Okay.
Yeah.
Very funny.
That is funny that he thought that was you.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
It is.
That's very fun. Oh, look, it's Dad. Some crabby bastard up.
Yeah, they're on the
balcony.
Muppet Show, so you'll see them on the Muppet Show, Statler and Waldorf, and some of the Muppet movies and things like that. Yeah, I was a big Grover kid, like Grover, Elmo. Yep. Oh God, just like something about those lovable creatures was just so sweet.
Remember that Christmas? I don't know how many years ago when you couldn't find that. Who'd you just reference? The doll?
The Tickle Me Elmo?
Tickle Me Elmo, yes, exactly. You couldn't find one of those things, man.
You know what's kind of sad? I look at Black Friday now, and I mean, I'm glad that people aren't like rushing the mall and killing each other or stampeding like into Walmart for Black Friday, which is a good thing. But there was something very sentimental about like getting excited about going to the mall and going shopping for everyone and making a day of it. I used to get really excited about it. You know, you'd eat at the food court or you'd like go to Cheesecake Factory or something. And now I'm just like, I can't, the thought of going to a mall is just, I mean, I'm beside myself just thinking like how awful it sounds. And the malls aren't that busy anymore. So it's kind of crazy. But there's something nostalgic about, sometimes you'll see like old clips of the mall at Christmas time and you go into Macy's and you're like, oh, that's kind of cute.
Yeah, I think it lost its luster when it got pushed back to like the late evening of Thanksgiving, because it's like, okay, we're still doing dishes, but then grandma's like, let's get in the car, we gotta head over to Macy's. It's like, well, no, I don't really, this feels wrong. I thought it was supposed to be you wake up early and you go do this, and then you probably go through like at noon and get the stuff that people aren't crazy about anymore. But yeah, it lost like the luster.
And that
the magic.
The introduction of Cyber Monday with Amazon and online shopping, where people are like, oh, I can just order from my house. And then now a lot of stores go, well, we start our Black Friday sales at the beginning of November and it goes through the middle of December. So it's not, there's no urgency to have to wake up at 5 a.m. to camp outside Target.
Now, I am someone, I'm not going to lie, I decorate my house the second Halloween's over.
Certainly.
Minus the Christmas tree. I just like Christmas. I like the decorations. It makes me happy. I have twinkle lights all over my house. It's fabulous. However, I don't enjoy we don't really do gift giving in my family anymore. We just kind of thought, you know, let's just go and see each other and have experiences and things like that, because do we really need more stuff? We just don't. And the consumerism, I think, ruins the magic of Christmas sometimes.
Does the world know where the very first mall was located? And what it was called? It is still called that to today.
Oh. Who had the first mall?
First mall ever built.
Is it in like the US?
Yep.
I'm just making sure, because I mean, like, you know, maybe there was one in like Europe or something.
No. You ready?
Texas.
What's that look you got? Tevin's looking it up, cheater.
I looked it up, and there is no way this is true.
It is true.
Minneapolis.
Southdale.
Southdale Mall
was the very first mall ever built in the world.
1956.
Yep.
The first fully enclosed, climate-controlled shopping mall.
Wow.
Minnesota, baby.
Yeah. Well, I guess Minneapolis. Right before Tevin said his answer, so I sort of got it right. I mean, here in California, everything is outdoor. We have outdoor malls here, so
right.
That's like the big thing.
Now let's guess who the family was that built Southdale. Very, very famous family. They're still, matter of fact, do very well in the business. Who is the family that built the Southdale Mall?
I'd say Westfield, because that's the only thing I know. Everything's a Westfield mall. The Dayton.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Indeed. So look at all the history. When you tune into this show, it's nothing but history. That's all I have to say.
Refresh my memory, because when I was living in Minnesota, I think it was Marshall and Fields.
Marshall Fields.
Marshall Field. Okay. So we didn't have those on the East or West Coast, so that's why I'm not familiar with them. Was that Dayton's prior?
It was it was Dayton's that became Marshall Field. Yeah.
Marshall Fields, and then that became Macy's. Is that correct?
That became Macy's. No, they're all gone, aren't they?
Is that building gone? Because there was one.
No, building's still there.
Building still. Is it still a store, or is it?
What is it now? You guys know?
Talking about the downtown Dayton.
Downtown Dayton, yeah. Minneapolis.
So they're trying to revitalize it. Right now, it's just empty space. But I shouldn't say. Well, right now it's filled. They have a big Christmas mall set up where vendors are in there selling like Christmas stuff. It's actually really cool. You can go get like hot chocolate and hang out, and it looks like a whole Christmas festival.
Oh, that's
but
nice.
most of the year it sits empty, and they're trying to revitalize it and get people.
Okay, because that was a really beautiful space. And then
It was, yeah.
What is your parade? Holidazzle?
Holidazzle
Yeah, that's
was,
coming up in a couple
Holidazzle.
weeks.
So I remember going to, it was Marshall Field at the time. My mom happened to be in town, and we went and watched over one of the bridges, I think from inside, because there was no way I was watching outside.
Yeah. No, the Skyway is the way to go for the
Skyway.
holidays.
I was like, there's no way I'm watching that from outside in the cold.
Why do you guys have to bring that up? The miserable memory that I have of it. You bring it up every year, so I will admit.
I don't know the Holidazzle misery. What happened?
The very first Holidazzle I ever went to, one of the producers on the morning show at KQ was John Lassman, right? So I go up and I see Lassman. Lassman's watching the parade, and I'm walking up from behind him. So I figured, what the hell? We're in the middle of a crowd. I'll tease him a little bit. I walk up, put him in a full headlock. Turns out it wasn't John Lassman. Whoops.
That's embarrassing.
Sorry about that, sir. Hey, let me buy you a drink. What do you say? God, I felt so bad. It looked just like Lassman, though. I don't get it.
Tom, had that been the era of social media, this would have been a crisis.
Oh God.
People would have video of it, like Tom attacks man at Holidazzle Parade.
That's exactly what it would be, too, that I attacked him.
Bernard, on the loose.
On the loose, attacking people mercilessly. It's
And then you'd have to
unbelievable.
type up an apology on your notes app on your iPhone.
Oh my gosh,
Did you hear the story about one of the people on this show, Bob Sansevier? He lives on a farm, and this horse delivered a little combination horse mule. There's a video, you got to watch it, Kristyn Burtt, because this little mule's running around kicking at its mother, and the mother's trying to get away from him and all the rest of it. So far, last I heard yesterday, it has had 80 million views. 80 million.
That's a lot.
Man,
is that
that's
on Facebook or Instagram?
Yep,
or?
Facebook.
Yeah.
It is Facebook. Okay.
Facebook likes a good animal video, I think. Yeah.
The greatest thing about it is Mom has had enough, and all of a sudden the little half mule, half horse goes, doop, just lays flat on the ground.
Oh, poor moms.
Mom's gonna
They do the
kick
hardest
your
work.
Oh, and my mother, there's no getting around it. She did the hardest work of them all, no doubt about it. Good job, though. She did a hell of a job. That's all I have. Well, not with me, but the other 6 kids.
You did okay, Tom.
I did. God, the memories, looking back, Christmas time, all the rest of it. You know.
What does that have to do with your mom?
Well, Mom at Christmas. I miss my mother at Christmas time. There's no question.
That
about
I
it.
understand. Yeah.
The only thing I'm still pissed off her to this day, she had a deeper voice than I did, which I wasn't happy about. You kids behave. I'm like, where the hell does that come from? Like, yes, dear.
Is that where
All
your
right.
voice came from?
Oh, God, yes, my mother. No, there's no question about it.
You
Got a
and
raspy, deep voice and all the rest of it. When I wake up in the morning, honest to God, I've got to go brush my teeth. It's like, what are you, a monster, for Christ's sake? All right, so anything else we should be watching for?
Well, actually, I want to just throw this out to you because this is, to me, I saw this list, and this is IMDb's top 10 stars of 2024. And I was like, oh my gosh, have times changed? So these are the people whose IMDb profiles got clicked on the most in 2024. If you've ever seen their star meter rankings, and you can see so that's what it relates to. Who do you think was the number 1 star of 2024? Female actress, young.
Oh, who's that blonde chick that everybody's obsessed with?
Blonde chick that everybody's obsessed with.
Sweeney?
Sydney Sweeney?
Yes, Sydney Sweeney's number 1.
Thanks.
I don't even know who that is.
She did and this person is number 5, Glenn Powell. They did a rom-com that wasn't very well reviewed, but did so well at the box office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Anyone But You, exactly. You can see it on streaming now. So he made it to number 5, which I thought was kind of surprising given that Twisters was such a big movie over the summer. Other people on the list, this is crazy. There's not like a Tom Cruise or a Nicole Kidman in sight. It is Ella Purnell was number 2 from Fallout.
Deserved, because she's in Yellow Jackets too, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, and that was a big year for Fallout, and of course, Yellow Jackets is coming back for season 3. Number 3 is the Penguins' Kristyn Milotti. Again, not a surprise.
Really good. Yep.
Number 4, Isa Gonzalez from 3 Body Problem on Netflix.
Don't know that one.
She was also in Baby Driver, I want to say, right?
Yeah.
Like John Hamm's, which, yikes, in hindsight, at some of the cast in that movie. Anyways.
Number 5 is Glenn Powell. Number 6, Barry Keoghan. Yep. Who I think some of this, like they're saying like, oh, it's because of his movie Bird, which is a pretty independent film. But I'm going to say a lot of it probably comes from his relationship, which I think now is over with Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, you think they're done?
Yes. The rumor is they're done. Because he was spotted with another young lady at the bungalow canoodling last week. Canoodling. And Sabrina Carpenter was in town performing in LA. You would think if he's in town, wouldn't he be at least one of the concerts?
Yeah, that makes
Yeah. That hot gossip for you. Nicola Coughlan from Bridgerton. Bridgerton was big this year. Eve Hewson. We talked a lot about Eve Hewson this year with The Perfect Couple. That is Bono's daughter. And of course, she's in Bad Sisters right now. And then Daphne Keane. She plays Laura in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
And then number 10 was Rebecca Ferguson, who really seems to be like evolving through every era. She had Silo, of course, in Dune Part 2 this year.
Surprises Zendaya's not on that list.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, but I think Zendaya just keeps like a really low profile. And I just feel like she's only out there when she's promoting a movie, and then we don't see her for another 6 months.
Yeah.
And yeah, what was her, was it?
Challengers?
Challengers was earlier in the year. So that was in May. So I have a feeling that's, had the list come out around that time, we probably would have seen her higher up on the list.
It's a good list, though.
Did you know everyone?
No, not everyone, no. I don't watch much television anymore. I really don't.
The guy who asked me what you should watch on television. You watch a lot of TV.
I really don't. I watch the same shows over and over, kind of.
That's true. Did you ever finish Tracker and get on to season 2?
Yeah, we're in season 2 of Tracker. Okay. I like it. The only problem with Tracker is the episodes are a lot alike.
Oh, it feels similar, the storylines for you?
Yeah, it really does. And that's I like it. I think the guy who stars in it, that's the other thing. For about the last 20 years, I haven't paid attention to anybody's name that's in anything. I just don't care who they are. It's like I watch the show. I have no idea who the hell you even are.
Well, it's interesting too, but with so many channels now, it's really hard to keep up with whom everyone is. Yeah. Justin Hartley, of course, is a star of Tracker, but it's one of those things that, you go to, you go to on a red carpet now and you sit there and you go, who are some of these people? And they're like, oh, they're in this Netflix TV series. And if you haven't seen it, you have no idea who this person is. And Netflix, I think a lot of their shows are very targeted. Like this is for, Alpha Gen, this one's for millennials. And so if you're not crossing over to your generational TV shows, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. It doesn't help too that we just all skip the credits and there's no more intro scene that has everybody's name on.
I miss that the most about movies because I understand cold opens and stuff like that, but I feel like showing up and like the whole cinematic, let's get an overlay of like the landscape, but also like who is it directed by, who's this starring and everything like that. I miss that in movies. But Kristyn, I was very curious now that you say that. When's the last time that you were maybe on a red carpet and maybe you're like there for somebody else, but you see like other reporters pulling somebody in and getting interviews and you're like, I have no idea who that is, but I feel obligated to ask them questions. Are you willing to share who the last person that maybe you had that interaction with?
That doesn't usually happen. I'm going to tell you why. Because we get a tip sheet. It's lingo. It's called a tip sheet.
Okay.
Basically, what it is a face sheet. So it's every single person who is confirmed to be on the red carpet with their name and their last credit or most important credit.
Okay.
So it's especially in this era. If you had asked me 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I've got 16 answers for this. But in this era, people are very selective over doing red carpets. People are so afraid of the gotcha question or being caught saying something that and then all of a sudden being canceled. People are paranoid. So if they are doing red carpet interviews, it's literally like, I'm here to promote this movie. I'm only talking about the movie. I'm talking about nothing else. And if they do have a controversy going on, but they have to attend that red carpet, they're getting their photos taken and they are darting right into the theater, and that's it. That's the only moment you'll actually see them or witness them on the red carpet. So things have changed tremendously, especially post-pandemic and just all the chaos we've been through politically and everything else.
We can close with this. I just got an email from a listener, and you three might suffer mightily from this one. He goes, I don't know who any of these people are anymore. Matter of fact, the last guy I knew was in a show. I knew his name was James Arness in Gunsmoke. Would that have been about 1958?
Just a little while.
Yeah. But I do think the list, there's only 2 guys on that list, by the way. Top 10. Yeah. So ladies are ruling. And I also want to say, I mean, none of the what you would call quote unquote A-listers are on there. No. Glenn Powell is like supposedly the heir apparent to Tom Cruise. And maybe this list is kind of saying that.
I guess, you know.
Well, also, if you know who they are you really going to search them on IMDb? Like, if I see Glenn Powell, I'm not like, oh, let me go look at his IMDb page.
Who is this undiscovered talent?
Who is this man? I mean, sometimes you do, though, in terms of like, wait, did they also do this movie? And you look at their filmography, and that might be the reason why. And I think, to your point, AJ, of like not seeing credits anymore, I think maybe IMDb is probably seeing more people visit their page to go, who is that person in that particular movie? I mean, I even know I have an IMDb profile, and mine has surged this year, and I'm like, for what?
My work is
no, but I think it's like they see a clip or something, and then they go, who is that person? And it just gets clicked on your profile. So
another brilliant report. That's all we have to say.
Yes.
She agrees with me. Yes, I was brilliant. There's no question.
It's my birthday, so of course.
Today's your birthday?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kristyn. Happy birthday to you and James Arness.
No, it's my birthday. It's my birthday month. Birthday month.
So is it your birthday today or birthday?
It is both. I call it my birthday because it's my birthday.
And the best way to wish Kristyn a happy birthday is going online to YouTube and saying happy birthday in the comments of the show after subscribing. God, you see how we're
I will go back and I will like and I will comment and I will say thank you for your efforts.
Magnificent. Kristyn Burtt, we will talk to you tomorrow.
See y'all tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks very much. Kristyn Burtt Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. She's a gem. There's no getting around it. Who else could have Kristyn Burtt? That would be no one.
No, she's all ours.
That's a fumble on our part for not knowing it was her birthday ahead of time. But I'm glad you were able to.
Call.
Yeah.
Again, that's why it's going to be a tough year next year because it starts with WTF. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Also, what the fudge?
What the Friday?
What the Friday? There you go. All right, fellas, we will talk to you tomorrow. Family show up in about 10 minutes.